Hey friends, it's me, Ms V The Storyteller. Are you excited about season 4? Because I am. I have had some amazing women to come on to share their stories, to talk about resilience and how, their past really shaped who they are today through their stories and just having the conversation. So I'm telling you, if you haven't listened to the previous three, I believe 4 episodes, the beginning of episode 4, you've missed some treats. Well, I wanted to come on and to share a story with you. And this story is the very first time I stepped on stage as a storyteller. Woo. But before I share my story, I just want to ask you to please like these videos. If you're watching via video, my YouTube channel, if you go down through that thumbs up and you click on it, it will help me to get out to more people, to reach more people. Every time you look at the video, just thumbs up. You can share it with other people. If you know someone who may be inspired by the story you just heard, just share it with them. You can subscribe. All these things are going to help me to get more people to hear the stories that you all are listening to. And some of you have been on the show, so I want to get your episodes out. So please, thumbs up, share, and subscribe. You can follow me. All of this helps. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share my story with you. Don't judge me. I'm just telling you that the very first time that I stepped on stage was terrifying. So let's go a little bit further back. During the pandemic, God had shared with me that He wanted me to be a storyteller. So during the pandemic, I was studying storytelling. I had found a mentor. She was mentoring me, and she pushed me to compete in some contest, or she would say, I just need you to come on story time, because she had I guess it was a show, and she would have people to come on during the pandemic and share stories. So I went on a couple of times and shared stories, and it was doing great. I'm telling you, but it was via Zoom. The world was shut down. So after doing about 4, 5, 6 shows, I'm like, I'm, I feel comfortable, until the day she recommended me to be a part of. It was a national storytelling event. Actually, it was the African American Storytelling Festival, and it was across the pond. It was in England, Africa, over across the water. When she asked me, I said, and she said, well, you don't have to say anything because I've already put your name in. Let me tell you, that just blew me away, because I believe that African storytellers, listen, y'all, they are the best storytellers. So the day of, her and I had went back with a story that I wanted to share, and I was happy with it, and she was happy with it. So on the day of that day, when they came, we went to the green room via Zoom, and I was a nervous wreck because I was going to be number 4. And I was going to be behind 3 amazing storytellers, 2 from Africa and 1 from England. And they were all seasoned. I'm new. I text my mentor and she said, you can do this. I have faith in you. You can do it. So I said, if I can do it, I can do it. I did it. It was received well. People were clapping in the little boxes, thumbs up, snapping their fingers, and I felt so good. Now, during this time, I was sending out stories, trying to get on all different kinds of different venues and things for storytelling, just, to practice my craft. One day I checked my emails and I got a email from someone named Alex. I read the email, and Alex wanted to know if I wanted to come on a show called Mortified. It's a storytelling place where you go on and you share stories from when you're a childhood. And it's a big thing up in DC. And and Maryland up in that area. And I said, sure, thinking we're still via Zoom. Been there, done that, feeling a little comfortable, still get a little nerves. Anyway, so she said, great. We worked back and forth on a story and we came to a story, one of my stories, because all my stories are personal. So we settled on this particular story. I was all excited. And then I received another email. This email said, since we're coming out of the pandemic, we are going to do the show live on stage in Washington, D.C. That's exactly what happened. Dead silence. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, I have been doing via Zoom. I've been in this box and it's been wonderful because I'm at my house. But now it's going to be in front of a live art studio audience. Well, not studio, but a live audience because it was a venue and that's what it's primarily for people to come and perform. Well, I got my crazy self together and I said, okay, Alex, I can do this. So the day before the show, I got myself together. I packed my bags. I drove to Washington, D.C. I got to the hotel. I got myself together and I was on my way to the venue. Now, let me tell you something about DC. If you live in DC, the DMV, any of those areas, you know how traffic can be. Well, a sister got lost. Had my phone, I had my car GPS on and my phone and got lost. So I was a little bit late. When I arrived, I text Alex and I said, Alex, I'm on my way in. I just got here. She was like, when I parked and got out of the car, I saw the line was wrapped around the building. She swooped me up and she was just moving people out the way like I was a real celebrity. She was like, excuse me, one of the storytellers are here. Let us by, let us by. And people were looking at me and I'm looking at them like, I'm just Ms. V, just a storyteller. She pushed me past the ticket box and everybody was still looking at me and I really truly felt like a celebrity because she whisked me away to the green room so that I can fix my hair, my makeup, and I walked back with some of the other storytellers who were going to be performing. And I was sitting in there and I thought to myself, this is it. You are going on stage in front of an audience of people and you are going to share your story. I was going to be number 5. I got bumped up because one of the other storytellers got lost as well. Wait a minute. She either got lost or she was running late, like almost an hour late. So they bumped me up. I'm sitting there and I'm trying to keep my cool and just, not look at the audience. I don't want to look at the audience. I don't want to see how many people there. I'm just sitting there trying to keep my cool. And then they say my name, Ms. V the Storyteller. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all can see that I'm fluffy. Those fluffy knees of mine were knocking together. Luckily, I had on one of those long sundresses. My knees was knocking together. I took each step and I'm like, Lord, help me. This is new territory. I walked up on stage. The mic was there and luckily that light that was at the back of the room, the spotlight was so bright, I could barely see the audience. Great. Right before I was about to share my story, my phone went off. It was my sister-in-law sending me some kind of text or calling me about something that could have waited. They knew that I was in DC and I was going to be performing, and they knew what time, but apparently she must have forgotten. me and my funny self, my crazy self, I said, see, this is what happened when nerves kick in. All distractions. I pulled my phone out, I turned it off, and I said, now let me share my story. And I went on and I began to share my stories. Yes, I was nervous, but it was my story, so I was comfortable until someone burst out laughing. When they burst out laughing, everybody else was laughing as well. And I remember whenever somebody laughs, you have to pause, give them time to laugh, and then continue so that they can hear the rest of the story. But that pause felt like it was 20 minutes long because I'm like, okay, y'all, please stop laughing so I can finish this story and get off of this stage. Well, I continued my story. There was laughter. It was great. And when I finished and walked off the stage, I was trying so fast to get off that stage. I didn't even pay attention to the fact that people were standing to their feet and they were applauding for me. Let me tell you, that day was one of the most terrifying slash best days of my life. I wanted to share that story with you because a few days ago, I went to this conference and I was listening to a lot of the speakers. And one of the things that I noticed about every one of the speakers is they were sharing stories. But I also paid attention to the fact that they all tried something different, something that made them afraid or fearful. They faced their fears. And I want to encourage you, if there's something out there that you are afraid of, that you've made it so big, and it's probably something small, because honestly, to be honest with you, that stage wasn't big. That first time wasn't as big as I made it out to be. I allowed fear to get into me to make me fearful of a big piece of wood with a microphone on it. But I faced it. I did it because I knew it was something that I was called to do, that I am called to do. So I did it. But I want to encourage you that if there's something out there that you've been a little bit intimidated by, or something that's in your heart that you want to do, but you you're allowing fear, I want you to try it. Just do baby steps. Let's say you want to be on stage. Hey, one of the smallest things that you can do is go on a podcast, or you can do karaoke, y'all. Get on that little stage and get up there and sing. Just face your fears. Do not allow fear to hold you hostage. All right. So remember, I need you. Do you hear me? I need you to push that thumbs up button down there, the one that goes like this with the thumb. Push that, share, and subscribe, and tell someone about the podcast. All right, friend. I hope you enjoyed this story. Next week, we're going to have another amazing woman entrepreneur on the show to share her story and just how her story really and truly shaped who she is. All right, friend. Bye.